Today is May 29, 2025. When a crisis hits, one of the first and most critical decisions you will face is whether to stay put or to leave. Preparedness involves thinking through these difficult choices long before disaster strikes. The fundamental question is always, shelter in place or evacuate. This decision carries immense weight, potentially meaning the difference between safety and peril. Bugging in means choosing to shelter in your primary residence during a disaster. The core idea is to fortify your home, making it as secure and self-sufficient as possible. You rely on the supplies you have pre-stocked: food, water, medical items, and tools. For many people, bugging in is the default plan, especially for short-term disruptions. However, this strategy has specific requirements and is not suitable for every type of emergency or every individual situation. On the other hand, bugging out means evacuating your home. You leave your primary residence and travel to a predetermined safer location. This decision is typically forced by an immediate and significant danger that makes staying in your current location too risky to contemplate. It requires a different set of preparations and skills. Adaptability is a cornerstone of effective preparedness. Having contingency plans for both staying and going is the mark of a truly prepared individual or family. There are many situations where bugging in is often the preferred, or indeed the only truly viable option. Consider short-term power outages that might last a few days. Think about severe winter storms like blizzards where travel is hazardous or impossible. Minor civil disturbances occurring far from your immediate neighborhood might also warrant staying home. In these types of scenarios, the primary infrastructure around you is generally still intact, but is experiencing a temporary disruption. The main threats are usually manageable from within a secure and well-supplied home. One of the significant advantages of your own home is its inherent familiarity. You know the layout intimately, including all potential entry and exit points, as well as any structural weak spots. Resource management becomes considerably easier when you bug in at your home. You can store a far greater quantity and variety of essential supplies, food, water, medical equipment, fuel, and tools, than you could ever realistically carry if you had to evacuate. Effective bugging in requires active measures, ongoing vigilance, and diligent resource management. When considering bugging in, the shelter aspect of your home is paramount. Think about the structural integrity of your dwelling. Is it a well-built structure situated away from obvious hazards like floodplains or unstable slopes? Can it reasonably withstand high winds, heavy snowfall, or other natural threats common to your region? Multiple layers of security, such as strong doors with deadbolts, secured windows, and perhaps an alarm system, are important. The supplies advantage of bugging in cannot be overstated. This encompasses your long-term food storage, including canned goods, dried staples like rice and beans, and perhaps commercially prepared emergency meals. Water is even more critical. You need stored potable water and reliable methods for purifying additional water sources. Comprehensive medical kits, covering everything from minor injuries to more significant trauma, are essential. Security when bugging in extends beyond just physical locks and alarms. There are compelling circumstances where the decision to evacuate becomes unavoidable. Bugging out is necessary when the inherent risks of remaining in your home decisively outweigh the potential risks and challenges of leaving. Ignoring official evacuation orders for certain types of disasters, such as fast-moving wildfires or major hurricanes with significant storm surge predictions, can have fatal consequences. Certain types of disasters present immediate, overwhelming threats that mandate evacuation. Think of catastrophic hurricanes, particularly Category 4 or 5 storms, especially if your area is prone to storm surge. Unstoppable wildfires that are rapidly approaching your community leave no option but to flee. Major industrial accidents, such as large-scale chemical spills or incidents at nuclear power facilities, can make the surrounding area uninhabitable for an extended period. Widespread and severe flooding that threatens to inundate your home is another clear signal to leave. Section 5. Key factors. Favoring bugging out, escape, evasion, and endurance. The primary driver for bugging out is often the urgent need to escape from immediate and overwhelming danger. In such situations, your foremost goal is survival. Speed and decisiveness are frequently critical elements in a successful escape. Hesitation, or waiting too long to see how things develop, can be incredibly costly, potentially trapping you in a worsening situation with fewer options for safe departure. Evasion of escalating threats is another key factor that might necessitate bugging out. This applies to slower burn disasters where the situation deteriorates progressively over time rather than exploding suddenly. Perhaps civil unrest is gradually spreading and moving closer to your area. Maybe a contamination event is slowly expanding its reach. Endurance, both physical and mental, is essential when bugging out and upon arrival at your bug-out location. The journey itself can be an arduous challenge. You may be carrying heavy bug-out bags, potentially for long distances if vehicles are not an option. Navigating unfamiliar or dangerous routes requires stamina and skill. Section 6. Emotional roller coasters and logistical nightmares, the human element. Making the decision to bug in or bug out, especially under the duress of an unfolding crisis, carries a significant emotional toll. You will likely experience a wide range of intense emotions: fear of the unknown, profound anxiety about the safety of yourself and your family, perhaps guilt if you are leaving others behind, and the immense stress of leadership and responsibility. The what-ifs can be mentally paralyzing if you allow them to dominate your thinking. It is important to acknowledge that these feelings are a normal human response to abnormal, high-stakes situations. Having a plan can help to channel these emotions into constructive action. The logistical challenges of bugging in, while perhaps seeming simpler than evacuating, can quickly become overwhelming if not properly anticipated. Maintaining round-the-clock security can be exhausting. Rationing food and water strictly over an extended period requires discipline and careful inventory management. Dealing with sanitation needs without running water or a functioning sewage system is a major hurdle that requires pre-planning for waste disposal and hygiene. Providing medical care for injuries or illness without access to doctors or pharmacies is another serious concern. Bugging out presents its own formidable set of logistical nightmares. Section 7. Real-world scenarios, lessons from past disasters. Hurricane Katrina, which struck the United States Gulf Coast in 2005, provides stark lessons. Many residents were strongly urged to evacuate or bug out before the storm made landfall. Those who chose to stay, particularly if their homes were not structurally robust or were located in low-lying flood zones, faced horrific and life-threatening conditions. Even some well-prepared individuals in stronger buildings who initially fared better, eventually faced severe long-term supply issues and significant security concerns as the situation deteriorated. The devastating California wildfires, such as the Camp Fire in 2018, offer a different but equally important perspective. These fires often move with incredible speed and ferocity, making bugging out the only survivable option for many thousands of people. Official evacuation orders were issued, and those who heeded them promptly had the best chance of escaping harm. The siege of Sarajevo during the Bosnian War in the 1990s represents a long-term, man-made urban disaster. Section 8. Making the call tips for deciding your strategy. It is absolutely essential to understand that there is no universal right answer when it comes to deciding whether to bug in or bug out. This decision is profoundly personal and intensely situation-dependent. What constitutes the correct course of action for one individual or family, in one type of disaster, in one specific location, may be entirely wrong for another. It is crucial to avoid dogmatic thinking or rigidly adhering to one strategy without considering alternatives. Flexibility and adaptability are paramount. A cornerstone of effective decision-making is to conduct a thorough and honest risk assessment. This involves carefully analyzing the potential threats that are most specific to your geographic area. Are you prone to hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, wildfires, or industrial hazards? What is the potential for civil unrest in your region? Next, objectively evaluate your home's strengths and weaknesses as a potential shelter. Section 9. Conclusion. Preparedness is a journey, not a destination. The bug-in versus bug-out choice is crucial in emergency preparedness. This decision can dictate your survival and well-being. It requires careful consideration and preparation. Your home's location and supplies are crucial. Consider your family's unique needs and vulnerabilities. Preparedness is an ongoing process, not a one-time task. Continuously learn new skills and stay prepared.